It's the age of bare hands. It happened. But I see now that once it's been perfected, the human body as men truly is accurate. Any institution can be infiltrated to that fact now. They've decided to closely monitor 3 men, who we know as number 2. Out of everyone, only those 3.
Man-made satellites are typically only used for military matters, with such precision and clarity that it looks like they were photographed from only a few feet above. Half of all satellites are immediately put into emergency mode and redirected to follow the target. The system filters out false positives like driving in a car on GPS systems everywhere.
It says that I'm driving in the ocean. In a way, it is refreshing. To be taking a long time in here, old man. Or did you forget the rules? Should I take out an...
You're the one who's gonna get punished.
The only reason I've stayed in this job as long as I have is because I've been dying to be when I was in such a vulnerable state, so you have to be punished severely. I'm trusted you with all this pent-up animosity that you call it.
This finger thing doesn't slow me down even a bit. Dislocating a joint? Don't be scared, cause I'm definitely gonna save you.
I
mean, he is an American after all.
Yeah, a food cart was knocked over, obviously. That was only due...
After 3 days in solitary, Buck... the road.
Now I see why you're able to get... Break time!
Not next month.
Champ. Everything's already been set up. I don't mess around with all of that prison ranking stuff. I get it. Team is waiting for me back in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all.
But, what's it for? Me himself just yesterday. He came here? Really? It's... The money being brought in on heavyweight fights was abysmal due to low box office sales.
Sonny Liston had been arrested over a dozen times. What he received after his victory wasn't cheers or accolades. Instead, greatest, the man named Cassius Clay.
Apparently they don't want it. Wait, are you talking about I and Michael? And who's supposed to take care of Oliver and Guevara? The 2 men who might actually be able to beat him would ever go along with him. Lip, tooth, tongue. I'm certain those 3. As I was just about to say. Besides, they've always been our allies up to... If we're here, knowing what you know, then it must mean that you're in a real fix. Some collateral damage. If we're to do it, I think we ought to do it tonight.
Well, then should we just talk one at a time instead? I'm pretty sure that way would take too long to decode. So then, you seem to be...
Well, when first hearing it, that distinctive delivery could be very confusing.
But you'll
figure it's make up a steam engine, or the horse, whip, and jockey in horse racing. Or that's just all over this world. The smoothest and most magnificent combination.
To understand the combination of the lips, teeth, and tongue, perhaps it's easiest to use the rest of the mouth. The lips draw it in and close around it with exquisite timing. The tongue delivers it to the back of the mouth, where it is ground up by molars. And speaking of the tongue, throughout this complicated process, it even detects hazard being injured by the teeth at all. It truly can be called a perfect combo.
They've clearly earned the right to those names. No matter the strengths that your cooperation may bring, how's it translate to the world of fighting?
This is a very common mistake that many people make. One might even say that your way of thinking is merely...
Go down in history as one of the greatest world heavyweight champions ever! Don't you think that you guys might aim through our actions? Drag 3.2 at the very most.
That's what I was thinking too.
You'd expect nothing less.
3.2 times that of a normal man. That's the limit of his fighting ability.
Claim that you know about martial arts, but you look like amateurs.
Well, that's rude. Don't actually have licenses or black belts.
No way! If that's true, then this is...
Stories about bravery out there. Like how a certain person defeated 3 thugs at once, professionals than the average man. 5 times, 6 times, 10 times. Harder to handle. A champion doesn't stand any chance at all against 3 amateurs. 3 men at one time. Soccer. Enough pro wrestling. And you could really hardly call that a martial art.
You actually call this travesty a fight? The king is crumbling. Legendary boxer who set the whole world abuzz.
So in honor of the great champ,
We will
now you boxing
defeat
off with you.
Go on, do it. Give it all you got, Iron Michael.
Style that you're known for. You bring the glove so close to the jaw that you could almost create a near-perfect defense. Even though we'll be up against the top.
No matter how fast you're able to move or a clean hit, even you will succumb to our third-rate punches. Stop it, no!
The first is to strike the testicles. The second is to gouge the eye.
Wow, he's weak. At any rate, this is just another example of how in up. What do you think? But at least it's a simple operation to perform. It'll be over.
My head is spinning like crazy. And this thing isn't spinning at all. You don't see all 3 members of the mouth together every day either. What are you threats? You guys must be ready for anything, aren't you? Whether we're talking about... How nostalgic. Tonight... Total amateurs. We're gone then. Your fighting capability will be greatly reduced. But sent by young Guevara! This formation, a sense of ease seemed to wash all over you.
You're through, Guevara.
Huh? Relief. I can't believe
relationship as an unbreakable trio is just love.
His bark was worse than...
Wind. Here not.
Call the wind.
Fantastic. You've done the urination, the wind, and the war paint made of... That's enough now. Let's all come back to our senses. How will you overcome this tetrahedron?
Lip, the leader of the mouth, felt the urge to run, as every... Since the three of them could no longer depend on their combination, there was no need to even...
He's so strong. He's too strong, Samuel. Check it out. Oh, if it isn't iron, such praise from the strongest boxer on earth.
If you hadn't come by, I had got about me just a second ago.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Well, as you were. Of course, I gotta thank you even more. So
You, my brother.
good night, brother.
Yup.
Whether you win or lose the fight against Oliver, I don't care. But the next day after...
Even if there isn't a wind blowing. Even if it's right here, right...
Oh, there you are! Mr. Guevara, good evening to you.
Oliver, Mr.
Now then, Guevara. You've got a seen it either. All the same, it's pretty obvious. I can tell what you're capable of, even if it's not a big one. But it's just such a pity. You still have one big flaw, Guevara. Just
likes to lose when it comes to fighting.
growing up from a toddler to a boy. And then,
Along the way while growing up,
I became a man. And stopped
gave up collecting cards.
And yet, knew that we might have much in common. There's one distinctive difference that sets us.
Have to be for someone else to be meaningful?
Tell me, what do you think?
Or's a weakness. What do you think about that, Mr. Oliver? Did you fight for another? Who is it?
Well, who else do you think?
Possibly fight for? Some girl? So you are
Starting to think you two are the greatest rivals, the strongest foes. And talk about how fighting is all that remains, and how you're fighting for another.
Baki-son.
Middle of battling to the death, they will nonetheless work together to fight off an intruder if one
World, the most potent one. And apparently the most easily riled one is Hanma blows you and your girl make.
That is...
Is that handkerchief a present from her or something?
Nope, you're wrong. Oh, don't be ridiculous. Something like that would be far too stimulating for me to do.
Sorry you lost me.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to get it, since you're a It's just like how a fan can feel the presence of the legendary quarterful. Here, man. What do you say? You want to take a whiff? Go
The most fragrant thing in the